Good evening, graduates. Good evening. Good evening, graduates. Good evening. Big up on a nice, clean self. Hmm. What a way class full of fast. How are one? How are really a token place? According to 33 times 3. Let me big up my people in my class, my graduates. Pick up yourself, Mitzi. Nice to see you over here. Island Breeze, pick up yourself, girl. So nice in the house, my Renshaw. Bernadette, big up yourself. Caroline, big up yourself. Dawn, darling, how are you doing? Chanel, big up yourself. Bam, bam. I'm listening. Good day, good day. Sandy Soundy, big up yourself. Charms World, big up yourself. Yes, you haven't been on for a while. Good to see you. Jenny, big up yourself. Simone, big up yourself. Tracy Thomas, present. Very good. Stacy, welcome. Charlene Proctor, good afternoon to you wherever you are. Lisa Mason, big up yourself. Joycey Rowe, big up yourself. Producer Wayne, Global TV, big up your nice clean self. Bro Shaka, how you doing, bro? And Steph B, good evening. Herlexia, nice name. Welcome. Gloria Pennant, Stacy McDonald, it is what it is. Big up yourself. Faith Rodney, big up yourself. Angela Lewis, big up yourself. Okay. Oh boy. I'm telling you. Yesterday was something special, wasn't it? Yesterday was something special. I thoroughly enjoyed all of the lives in Planker Shop from beginning to end. It was just so wonderful. Seeing a meeting of two social media influencers who are known for similar things from different parts of the diaspora coming together was indeed a fantastic thing. But on the end of everything good, everything wonderful, everything that is a blessing, there is always the counterbalancing energies of our universe. Negativity. It just did it. Now, I have been quiet. And I have been deliberately quiet because for those of you who know me, who have been on my platform for time, HDK, she don't eat while it's hot. I allow the internet to do what it needs to do. I allow people to vent, to blow off steam, to shout, to scream, to do whatever it is they think is necessary to get whatever it is off their chest. And that way, I have a full picture before I respond. It's a wise way to do things because it means that you get the full perspective of everything and you don't necessarily react out of emotions. So it's brain first, mouth after. Because sometimes when we run out right away, it's definitely our emotions that are leading us and not intelligence. We're all at risk of letting our emotions run riot in these social media streets. So I allow those who are led by their emotions to run out first, always. Yeah, man. But I had to, in many instances, graduates, take myself out of the equation. Despite the verbal attacks, the pre-conspired lies that started to come out, I took myself away in order to really figure out what the issue was. And I had to, because if I didn't, then I would have get caught up in my feels. And I'm not about to do that. Because even though there was an onslaught of people saying all sorts out of emotions, there was a common theme. A common theme from platform to platform to platform, regardless of whatever camp, whatever it is that you stood for, whoever it is that you were allied to, whoever it is that you chose not to ally with, you all had a common theme. And I'm about to pull that out. I'm sure you can see my subheading on the screen. Do you understand your influence? Do you understand the power of a platform? We use the term social influencer, social media influencer quite loosely. Somebody who popular, somebody who look good, somebody who can sell a brand, somebody who can be, a representative of the people who have no voice. We use it in different ways, and sometimes we use it loosely, but sometimes we really don't understand exactly how far this thing goes. I have said it a million times, word, sound, power. It's real. Now, I'm going to try my best, because I realize that people vex when me do this. Them take it out of context. Them start feel a way when me call them lady with this, lady with that, blah, blah, blah. I'm going to try my best, because this time, this is a message I want everyone to be a part of, whether you like me or not. So many of you out there are hurting. So many of you out there are hurting. And you are all hurting on the basis of the influence of one woman. Now, that woman I'm definitely going to still refer to as 33 times 3. And I've sat back and I've watched and I've observed, and I'm thinking to myself, where in God's name is all of this coming from? What is this? Now listen. Set aside what my personal feelings are for other bloggers out there, because that not gonna change. Set that aside. I know for a fact that this woman has not been the focal point of the main things that were discussed, but yet from that point, and the moment this lady opened her mouth and gave a thumbs up to information that she fully understood and respected, it was like a volcano erupted across social media. A volcano of emotions erupted across social media. I listened to you all without exception. Without exception. I listened to one perspective where it was felt that by her doing so, she has slighted somebody else. I listened to another perspective where an individual felt as though they were set up to fail. I listened to another perspective where someone felt that this lady is the mastermind behind all of the falling outs and all of the onslaught of verbal attacks and otherwise towards one particular lady through her financial power. I listened to one person, and this was prior to the thumbs up. Well, actually, no, it wasn't. It was after the first thumbs up, because there was the first and there was the second, wasn't there, people? But I listened to another perspective of somebody saying that this lady was pushing one female blogger against another female blogger, despite both being intelligent. Every single person seems to believe that this lady has a powerful influence, common theme. And that when she opens her mouth, be it to bless or to curse, the impact is real. I heard another perspective where it was thought that my platform, as in my voice, would be pivotal to remove all the other voices of other bloggers. And that was something that 33 times 3 wanted to happen. I also heard another perspective that it is possible that one particular blogger is an informant and that I mean an informant to federal police or federal investigation services, and that my voice irritated this blogger so much because I would put a spanner in the works to take down 33 times 3 people. Left, right, and center. I have all of the perspectives. This is what I'm going to say. I do not believe for one moment that 33 times 3 is unaware of her influence or of the power of her platform. I do believe she knows. She knows the power of her voice. But what I am not going to say that she has control over is how people take that voice and manifest it through action. It does not mean there is no accountability. Hold on your seatbelt. Jaja. I am not a part of any of the agendas that I have referred to. But I'm going to refer to one particular one. And I'm only going to refer to this one first because this particular case has to do with somebody whom I've had interactions with personally. We don't speak on social media. We barely refer to each other, but I have no dislike for this person, despite the fact that we have had our running in. This young man is also in London. Well, I should say also in England because I'm not in London, but in London. So he'll remain nameless, but I'm sure based on my description, you know who I'm speaking to. I listened to the live that you did, and I also listened to the live that you deleted. The one that was subtitled, "Let me be vulnerable with you for a moment." I listened keenly to everything that was said. And it is clear to me that you have been wronged. It does not mean that you were not wrong in the way you reacted, in the things that you did, be it previously or subsequently. And we all know the history, and I'm not going to dig it up because all the Planketarians who have been around knows the history. But I'm going to tell you why there needs to be accountability from 33 times 3 with this situation, with this young man. Now, we all know when he came to visit Planker Shop, it was the first time we had seen this individual fully on the camera. He came to visit Planka Shop. Some Plankatarians were like, what the hell? Other Plankatarians were like, welcome. It was a mixed bag. But remember, 33 times 3 had been insisting that all was forgotten and all was forgiven up to that point, and welcomed him with open arms into the shop. During this visit, it became very apparent to 33 times 3 that this young man had health complications. You could visibly see the shock on her face. Of course, I understand human reaction. But then a comment was made. And that comment, though those who know this lady knows it came from an innocent place, was in fact offensive. And I'm going to explain why. Now, it's interesting that my husband was also in the room when I was playing that live. And when she introduced him on the camera and made the comment that she made, a small boy in a man's body, my husband instantly said, that is an insult. And I said, what do you mean? Why is that insulting? And I said, I don't see anything wrong. I know that she's doing this from I know that she's doing this from a perspective of care, concern. We all know her. We know why she reacts the way she reacts. We know that this is about her being emotional, and I understand. And because I am, I'm in the moment, caught up in the whole Planka Shop thing, I'm like, no, I see her for who she is. So what do you mean? Never get it. And I say, you need to explain to me. And he says, listen, I'm a man. And if somebody look at me and tell me, say, I am like a boy in a man's body, that hurts my ego, that bruises my ego as a man. And it was about the fact that the introduction to the world would have made them look at him less. And he says, imagine if I have a disability, but I do not see my disability as an inability. And you refer to me like this. You are not only hurting my ego, but you are also putting me in a substandard position. I understood where he was coming from. I still never agree, people. But I got it. I left it alone. I said, hold on to your seatbelt and brace on yourself, hold on a seatbelt. So anyway, that carried on. And then another live took place. And in that live, it was discussed that, she had reached out to a friend who was a doctor, and the doctor gave her certain, assessments based on what she saw, etc., etc. I'm not going to repeat all of those. Those of us in Planka Shop at the time, we know what was said. Now, when I thought about this, I was like, okay, this is 33 times 3, being very concerned, being invested in somebody that she actually liked, and therefore it was a concern to her. So she reached out to this medical professional in order to, find out what was going on. And hold on, lad, keep quiet in the comments, no man. Don't rush ahead of the class, man. Listen, no man. And I took myself out of Planka Shop and put myself in this young man's shoes. And I said, I appreciate somebody who is not my medical professional, somebody who has never met me other than seeing me online, seeing my condition online, but not knowing the ins and outs of it. Would I appreciate a medical professional? Oh, yes, okay, whoever reached out to her. Yes, it doesn't really matter the reaching out to be 33 times 3 or the medical professional do it. It doesn't matter. That part is irrelevant. It was more about the fact that this person was assessing somebody they had never met, they'd never known, and so on, and coming up with a conclusion. And the conclusion was that I should step down from my involvement with the one thing that gives me joy and normality. Hold on to uno seatbelt, you know, and stop run up and down in the comment. Listen. As I said, Caribbean Queen, it doesn't matter. Listen. Now, this person, their conclusion was, you must step down from social media because this kind of thing can bring you stress, can bring you, further complications. You can end up with this, you can end up with that, you can end up with blah, blah, blah. Somebody like you should never be on here. And 33 times 3 in her passionate moment, because she was shocked, she was concerned, because she cared, ran with that, and came online and put that message out. Now put yourself in that person's shoes. This is, and he has said it repeatedly, the one space where he has normality despite his medical and health issues. This is the one space where he can be like anybody else, where he has some kind of empowerment despite his limitations. And this is the one space where he escapes all of his issues in order to engage with other people. And somebody is telling you, you need to leave that space because I've assessed you based on what you look like. I want you to open your brains. Get out of your I am a planker boss defender mode. Get out of it. Look at it from a human perspective. Open your minds. Be as objective as you can. We know it was not meant. We know it was not intended. But what you mean, what you intend, does not take away from what actually is. All right. So, given that, obviously we saw the reaction afterwards. It was like a complete 180. This individual went from singing her praises to showering her with love and adoration to being a complete thorn in her skin, telling her anything that came to his mind, repeating everything that him hear on social media and using it as a verbal attack. It was his comeuppance, it was his comeback, it was his clapback, trying to regain his space, his empowerment, blah, blah, blah. However he did it, which was completely wrong, disrespectful, went under, deep up, all of that we saw. Right? Because what happened before that? Before that, he actually did come out and said, you hurt me. I remember that live. You hurt me. You upset me. You insulted me. What was 33 times 3's response to that? Firstly, it was ignored. Then, after the onslaught began, 33 times 3, your back went up. And because your back went up, you did not apologize. You defended. And even if there was an apology in the mix, it was an apology balanced by a but I. Now, it's like when somebody insults me and then they come back and they, I'm sorry if I offended you. That if takes your apology and throws it in the bin for me. Because if I'm upset, you clearly offended me. You hear what I'm saying to you? If I'm upset, you clearly offended me. It's not an if, it's not a but, it's not a maybe. If you offend me, you offend me. How about finding out why I'm offended and apologizing for that? Now, that is understanding your influence. Knowing that your words are so powerful, particularly when you have got these personalities that latch on. Now, we can have our opinions about whether or not that's a healthy thing. We know it's not healthy. It isn't healthy ever to put anyone on such a pedestal that a slight word can throw you out of character. But all I can say is that it really is about recognizing where it could have gone differently. Every time we have these situations and it's not tidied up on the other end, a greater demon rises out of the darkness. You have referred to it in a recent live that you never meant anything and you didn't do anything to this person. And I'm here to tell you the honest truth. You didn't mean to do anything to this person. It was not intentional. But it was an offense. And if people would just be honest and put aside their dislike, whatever they dislike this individual for, they will tell you that somebody's illness is not a public platform discussion. Walande. Right. Stacy, I think that your comment was removed because of the first sentence, because I don't agree with that at all. We tend to use that statement with regards to 33 times 3, and it isn't. Lisa, she did say she was sorry after, but she said she defended why she did what she did in the same breath. She did, because I was there. Okay? And you can't apologize and defend. It doesn't work. That is not true. That's what Stacy said there, because that is that phrase, people use that phrase all the time. You lack emotional intelligence. That's a lie. A lady who has such empathy for those with for charity purposes and for people's hardships and stuff don't lack emotional intelligence. What I would say is that on occasion she lacks tact. That's different. To be tactful is to know when to react and how to react in the heat of the moment. And because she wears her heart on her sleeve, sometimes she just reacts. And those of us around her who think that she is just the greatest, we understand what she means. But it's not everybody going to be as tolerant. Not everybody is going to be as understanding, particularly when there are multiple issues going on. That's a one. On a drink up on a drinks. Take a little drink there before I continue. Take a little drink before I continue. I'm going to go through some of the comments, let me go and get a cup of tea, drink something, and come back. But let me go through some of the comments in the meantime. You understand? All right. So I'm going to scroll up to the top as much as I possibly can. I'm going to scroll up to the top as much as I possibly can. All right, let's start here. Cannot run away from that. Bad mind people always around, period. Oh, yes, Lisa, we can't really pay attention to that. You know, people are always going to be bad mind, and especially if the woman got put my name on our platform, Mighty God of Daniel, at that time they rise up. And I'm just like, listen, guys, I never asked, I never begged, I simply do what I do. And if the lady gives recognition or acknowledgement to it, I am appreciative. And if I benefit in terms of people following or subscribing to my page, I am grateful for it. But it is not something that I am begging. So for those of you who are out there claiming that I am looking clout, I am HDK. I have always been HDK, and I've always done what I've done, whether or not people see me or people don't see me. You understand me? So at the end of the day, don't get caught up in your own envy and claim that I am looking for clout. What did you do with your clout when you had it at the time? But anyway, big up yourself, Bro Shaka. Thank you so much for the super chat. So let me keep going. Yes, indeed. Let me keep going. Auntie reacted like the usual human being. Yes, she reacted like herself. She did. And we understand that. But you know, we get really caught up, especially those of you who are that type of fan, that you love this lady so much that you literally will put her on a pedestal. You literally will, you know, anything negative, you will never accept it. You have to take yourself out of that space sometimes. When you see something happening, not just once, not just twice, but it is lasting for a sustained period of time. If people have got a small gripe, graduates, those small gripes will end pretty fast. If it's a big gripe, if it's a gripe that has permanently damaged, you will see them happening for years, behaving out of sorts about it. People don't just get up to get miserable about a subject and stay that way. I need you to understand that there were cases. I'm not saying that there aren't some real deviants out there, you know, who just literally bad mind the woman, everything she do them bad mind her, you know. But I don't think all of the people who have got this attitude towards her were necessarily meant to go that way if certain small fixes were done effectively. I'm saying that we could have had less enemies out there. We could have, for this lady. We could have, if she had understood how powerful her words and platform actually is. The words that got to me from that person's life, when the person said, I believe I was set up to fail. And that goes against the grain of everything this lady stands for. It does. And shouldn't be allowed to sit out there. Because honestly, I do not believe it was her intention. Now, this is not me saying this lady needs to go be chummy with somebody who has, you know, slated her subsequently. No, I don't believe this person is interested, and I don't believe it's about bridging any kind of friendship or anything like that. Because I've always said 33 times 3, you must not be friends with bloggers. Even if you have respect for them, it shouldn't be a chummy thing. But I do believe it can be a let go and let live situation. after a proper acknowledgement of where both parties have gone wrong. And one less enemy for the lady is one more opportunity to just have her back breezed, so that things don't get revisited in the heat of discussion as it did yesterday. Because clearly that situation got under her skin. And if somebody does not understand why something is happening, and somebody's in a position of objectivity where they can enlighten her, somebody who has her back, I will not hesitate to share it. People have high expectations of her because she doesn't know how powerful she is, but she sees herself as a normal person who just doing good. Chanel, I partly agree with that, but I genuinely think 33 times 3 knows she's not normal. Come on. Which normal person can go on their platform and say, I need $1 million for a student and get it? She isn't normal, and she knows she isn't. But what I don't think she understands is how far her words will go. Because there are some that when they hear either her hurting, her anger, her upset, they will take on an armor, head out to the individuals with whom she's had a disagreement, and make their lives hell. Make their lives hell. That's right, Lisa. Sharnette says, I don't think she meant any harm when she said that, but sometimes we say things without thinking that others will see it in a different light. Absolutely. You've hit the nail on the head. She meant no harm. She cared for him, but did not express herself in a diplomatic way. She thought she was helping him. Exactly. Know your English grammar. And it is such a shame that what is a simple misunderstanding? Well, it isn't simple, especially if it's you're the person who is ill. But what is a misunderstanding then? Maybe I remove the word simple. What is a misunderstanding could not have been squashed in a way that both could have gone their separate ways without the disrespect. And it wasn't 33 times 3 who intentionally disrespected. It was the other young man with his reaction. Now, what I don't understand, graduates, and please help me to understand this. Why is it that some of you who go out there on your platforms and handle this woman in the most disrespectful manner, why is it that you expect to get her respect? I don't understand it. And then when somebody else is not on your bandwagon of ripping her to pieces, even when they don't agree with the person, you think that this person is clout chasing. I don't know about you, but I was raised with manners. And yes, I can be very disrespectful because I have a very feisty mouth. But you see, when I respect somebody and I want the best for them, I am not going to go to certain lengths in order to prove my point. Some of you claim that you are educated or claim that, you are objective and not biased. But yet when it comes to pointing out any mistakes around the lady, you go below the belt. And when you go below the belt, and yet she still shouts you out, she still shows you respect, you come out here, you call her a Satan, you call her a troublemaker, you call her all kinds of things. But there is no, let us discuss this. Let us see how things could have been different. Mix up, baga baga, okay. But then what's next? If we are thinking about repair so that everybody involved can grow, go their separate ways, evolve, why can't you just express your hurt in a way that has respect attached to it? Particularly when you know there was a time when the limelight was on you through this lady's platform, where you fed from it, where you got the likes, you got the views, you got the big ups, you got the following at one point. There is no gratitude for it because you and her have had your friction, you've fallen out, you've gone your separate ways, you've been disrespectful about how you do it. And now all of a sudden, those same followers who now have turned against you because of her powerful words, now the whole of them are bottom feeder. I tell you, I'm not on any of your agendas. I'm not interested in any of it. I simply come out here and I speak my mind and I share what I've understood from situations. And I try my best not to get caught up in any of your to and fro's out there because it's really not worth my time. I've always said to you guys, coming out here and telling me about my past, you will never get a response. Never, ever, 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 ever get a response. You won't get it. You will be there chewing up your gums to your own self. To your own self. But it doesn't mean I can't understand you. Or I can't understand where you're coming from. A lot of the bloggers that are out here defending 33 times 3's name, a lot of you guys come out here, you target the ones who will never let go of the hurt that they're carrying. And that hurt that they're carrying comes out as bad mind, envy, deceitfulness, tearing down our brand, all of those things. We know. And 90% of the time, that's all there is because they've had a falling out or a gripe. And then you say you want her name to be rested. You want people to come off her back, but yet every day there is an onslaught or a constant ripping apart of these characters with whom she's had a gripe. Now, this is what I have to say about that. Doing a thing, I'm not going to stop you. It's got nothing to do with me, how you do it. But I just want to highlight that even in claiming that you are taking things away from her, you are still doing it in her name. And in doing it in her name, you are feeding the fire of these individuals, and they will never stop burning on the inside. Never stop. Every time they boil down the arguments, every time they look back to where it all began, her name will be on the end of it. Her name will be on the end of it. So whatever it is that your aims or objectives are, it will not work. Who has no sound? Guys, can you hear me? Bro Shaka is saying there is no sound. Please let me know if you guys can hear me. I don't want to be here talking to myself. So Una, try tell me thumbs up if there is no sound. And hold on, let me see. I don't see anything from any of my no, my admin is not telling me that. Bro Shaka, come out and come back in. It's not my equipment, okay? From what I can see, everybody else can hear. All right. So just to let you know that agenda, it doesn't work. But as I said, do or not do, because obviously we can't allow only negativity about this lady to go out into the atmosphere. And there is no counteraction, but I genuinely believe it's about how you do it, right? And everybody have their own style and do what they have to do. Now, likewise, I'm going to talk about how people interpreted the big up. There is such a underlying, and I'm going to call it what it is, because me can't but address it up, graduates. There is such an underlying jealousy and competition around the attention from this lady. And while all of you may not be jealous, while all of you may not be competitive, some of you definitely are. I remember one particular blogger saying on their platform, oh, she don't remember when you visited, but she remembers when I visited. That's because I am, whatever, I stand out in her memory. And then the way the gods would have it, this individual then says, but UK, you are unforgettable. They meant to say forgettable, people. But my ancestors are powerful. Them twist your tongue. And them say, but UK, you are unforgettable. And don't think I don't have that clip. I have actually screen recorded it. So try not deny it, because I have it, Oh. But I said to myself, my gosh, some people out here are hurting. Is it that you still want to be recognized, or is it that you don't? What is this dilemma that you are caught up in? Didn't you have a time when you had all that attention? What did you do with it? Wasn't there a time when you were Blogger of the Year? What did you do with it? Where is the accountability for the things that were done that removed that starlight from behind your name? Do you see HTK out here doing these same things? Do you see me out here mixing and mingling with all sorts, to the point where people have all kinds of screen recordings, pictures, videos of me? I don't mix, because I believe in protecting myself from such slander. Do you see me disrespecting one of the people on social media who has done such great and immense acts of good, because I want to tell her that she is no God? No. So because I choose not to use a certain disrespectful approach, I am looking for clout. Let me tell you this. Somebody who genuinely cares about someone else will tell them where they are wrong. But just like some parents who make this kind of mistake, corporal punishment does not always have to be the end of the equation. We don't have to string up and limb up in order to say that somebody has gone wrong. Let me see some of the comments. If some of them would ignore all the negatives, these people are going to have less to say. That is true. Of course, you're unforgettable, big up yourself. Auntie, don't have nothing against that guy. I hear her asking for prayers the other day when he was sick. He's hurt because he's not in the shop no more. I wonder if it's because them never get the Planka effect asking for a friend. But they did, you know, Bro Shaka. They did. At one point, they definitely got the Planka effect. But now all of a sudden, all of the Plankatarians are this and all of them are that. But I'm going to tell you that it doesn't matter if they're Plankas or Royals or any of the brands. There are some who go out there and they deliberately do stuff in order to attack their platforms, their pages, because they're defending 33 times 3. And that makes them resentful. And there are some who will, you know, basically just go in the comments and just start to cuss the people and tell them about themselves, them parts or whatever. Because not everybody is a platform holder. Not everybody has a voice to actually speak on a platform to say how they feel about it. So while they should expect it because they're going up against somebody who is greatly liked, you know, at the end of the day, ideally, we shouldn't be doing it in an ideal world. But it's always going to happen because for as long as the hurt does not go away, they are constantly going to be degrading the lady's name. And it's always going to happen that people are going to run out and defend her. And I've got nothing more to say about it because you can't stop people from doing what they're doing in a public space. You can't. But only in this particular case is where I'm coming from, that there could have been one less enemy out there. One less, just one less. One less. And I'm only referring to it because I said I've had personal interactions with this person. If I hadn't, I wouldn't refer. I'd have just left it. Right? And I know that there was a time when this individual, mighty God of Daniel, it was almost like an obsession. Everything was 33 times 3. And it's such a shame when you see things go so wrong. Everything goes so wrong. I'll go late for class. Tamio, you are late. So yeah, let us get back to this whole thing now. That argument of, you know, the big up. One particular argument that I heard, graduates, was that big up was because 33 times 3 wishes to use Head Teacher K in order to undermine all the other bloggers out there whom deep down she can't stand. My God. No, sir. Let me sip up there. Well, I'm on a seatbelt again. Well, I'm by your seatbelt again. As much as there are some bloggers out here whom I have openly told you, graduates, that I don't respect their approach, I will never target any of them to tear down on anybody's behalf. I may counteract a point. I may recognize that something needs clarifying. Sometimes I may come out and do that will rub people the wrong way. But you see, once I've made my point, I leave them to it. I will not come out here to try to tear down any of them. So please cease and desist with that conspiracy theory. Each of these bloggers out here have a purpose. They have an audience and they have a right to do their content however they wish. Remember, you know, when 360 dip up under me, tell me about my underneath, my parts, my ray. When lady with the number come out and tell me how much bad word, did I bat an eyelid? Because that is their style. I know me one. That is their style. Them things do not faze me. And I need you to understand this. I did not enter this blogging world with a thin skin and unprepared. I came here to represent truth facts, knowledge, and balance. And of course, all of that is about building the wisdom of our people in this diaspora. We need to recognize that not all of us as bloggers will present information in a way that we will all appreciate or like. That even though we have topics out there that each of us can be a topic, it is all a part of the dynamics of having a public platform and a powerful voice. Bro, Shaka, you just bait me with money, so become yourself. How come so much people there and the like so low? Why una so blurt not mean? Or una come here fast? Look here, the man. Come on, like up the live, people. Like up the live. At least get me to 50% of those of you who are watching. You know, at the end of the day, you are enjoying the content. You are taking it in. I do not ask for anything. I don't ask for super chat. I don't pin cash up. I don't pin Zelle. All I ask is that you push up the algorithms of my channel so that it increases the visibility through hitting the like button. Thank you. Right? But all I can say is you may not like my perspective. You may not like what I have to say. That's fine. But each of these bloggers have their way of handling things. If their way is to dip up under and cuss up the bad word them, you think say me go come out here and say, how dare you use that language towards me? I'm better than that. No. Anybody can get tell about them parts. Anybody can get cussed out. This is a part of being on social media. And these people have been here before me and have always been thus. It's not going to faze me. But what I won't do is weaponize my graduates to go out there to say, go and dip up back under them. Go and spam report their page. Go and tear them down. How many of you have said, boy, HTK, she wouldn't like it if we got trace them, you know. She don't want we do that. She don't want we do that. I don't allow it. I control how my graduates react by letting them know what I would appreciate and what I don't. This is about social responsibility. I have seen you graduates. I have seen you go on different platforms and disagree with what people have said about me. But I have watched you with pride because you have done it respectfully. Respectfully. And for that, I can never be angry. Because you are taking in the knowledge that I want you to feed on. So when people say, and I want you to understand where I'm coming from. When people say, me can't control what people do out the street, it's correct to an extent. But I want 33 times 3 to understand this. The power of your platform, the influence that you have, you can influence the way people react. You can. You can't control their actions, but you can influence it. There is nothing wrong with disagreeing. There is nothing wrong with defending. You can't stop people from defending, you know. But there is a way that it can be done so that people don't feel disrespected. Of course, they're not going to take offense anyway. You don't know. Because I saw people stay. They're not going to just get offended because you come over here, you defend 33 times 3, and this is a 33 times 3 bashing page. And when that happens, that's when you know that the gripe is not a gripe that can be healed. It is one that will continue because that person deep down is bitter and twisted towards you. Because I have seen some of the Planketarians go to other platforms and disagree respectfully and then get an onslaught of bad word as a thank you. And that shows that that person is one that cannot get over whatever it is that they have against the lady. Which is why I have said there are some people out here that I will never defend. And now I see my name in their mouth. I mean, I understand why. I am not out here to tear down any of my fellow bloggers, whether them like me or not. It's not my job, and I will not be puppeted by anyone, including 33 times 3, to do so. I simply come out here to speak my mind. And for those of you who are wondering where I come from, who the lady are, where she come from? Where she come from? She could have come from the enemy camp. Are you serious? The only camp I come from is my own. My own. And I have been here as long as you have. I've just been in the background. So don't think for a minute that you can spin any conspiracy theory because you are fighting for a friend and it will rise to the surface as fact. Because there is no fact in what you're saying. The only fact in what you're saying is the fact that this person definitely don't like that person. But like I've always said, I'm not out here claiming not to be biased. But I did say that I can handle any topic with objectivity. Any. Despite my personal biases. Now, when one is one-dimensional, they cannot last, gets boring after a while. Fact. HDK, mostly people who are intelligent follow and listen to you. It's beneath me to run out and disrespect others. I don't even look at them haters. Big up yourself, honeybee. But she do, and she said a million times telling people not cuss nobody fear. Yes, she does, but it doesn't work. That's what I'm saying. It doesn't work. And I'll tell you why it doesn't work. And I'm going to go back to the power of influence. Now, say, for example, I have told my followers, do not run out and trace out and cuss out anybody and dip up under anybody in my name. And I go onto that person's platform while they're dipping up under me. And I see that that person who I told not to do it is over there doing it. And then I say, okay, I spot that you're over there, I dip up under the person. And then you come on my platform subsequently, and I big you up, despite knowing that you're over there dipping up under that person. What does that do? That undermines my very first instruction. Because I've given you a thumbs up, despite telling you that your actions are a thumbs down. It's contradictory and suggests that I'm turning a blind eye to what I know that you do. It doesn't work. The only way such an instruction would work is if I have it. Then I see you doing it and I cut you off or I condemn you publicly and I turn my back. That's the only way. It's the only way it would work. Which is why I asked the question. Do you understand your influence? Do you understand the power of a platform? People out here will always suspect people who are new. What is that saying? I wonder who can remind me about that saying. Let me see if I can find it. About how human beings react to what's new. Fair what they... I'm trying to find the saying. Here it is. I found it. People fear what they don't understand and hate what they can't conquer. That one. Yes, that one. And a lot of people are not going to understand HTK's approach. They're not going to understand me. They're not going to understand why it is that she takes certain approach, why she does things certain ways. And it's because I am not like you. But the people who are like-minded will know why I do what I do. They will know. They will understand it. Therefore, I have a market and I have a niche and I have an audience on the basis of the fact that they understand me. Okay, let's go to the other one then. That I am going to be the intelligent or educated one that protects 33 times 3 from making certain mistakes so that certain people who might be, this is a big conspiracy theory, you know, because this I wanted to take the biscuits, that might be trying to get this person in trouble with federal agents. And that's the reason why this blogger attacked me. No, it isn't. It is not. And I'm going to just tell you straight up, it's not that. It's simply that the focus was on one particular person. My information around charities applied to all charities. And this individual saw how this information could benefit their argument and ran with it. It's got nothing to do with where my argument was directed. If I open up truths based on facts, facts cannot be questioned. And if those facts benefit everyone, they benefit everyone. But unfortunately, because that individual and such lady saw pointers in it that resounded with them, it irked the blogger and made the blogger feel as though I was giving these two people an out. I have no interest in what is happening with whatever is going on in those two arenas. I gave information based on facts, and it covered all charities. All charities. Sometimes we get so emotionally caught up in whatever it is that we have got as our agenda, that when something comes along that might knock that agenda out of place, people will get angry. And it's understandable. And it doesn't bother me, because the way you take it, HDK will still come out and speak facts. Let me take a look at some of the comments. What you people don't understand with that woman, she not business with nobody who cussing with each other. So people would think she bigging up people, but she just calling people who she respects. That's how I see. People fear what they don't understand and hate what they can't conquer. You got it, Alika Brata. I think she does call them out when she sees it. But remember, she's not visiting these platforms to see their reactions. How do you know that? Know your English grammar? How do you know that she isn't visiting them? Don't, anyway, let me leave that alone. I always say stop shouting out pages, but not everybody you can give us strength. You know, she can shout out who she wants to shout out, but I'm just going to let her know what the consequence of it is. And this is how it is, right? Big up who you want to big up, but when you present a certain perspective and you big up people who do the things that you don't want them to do, it shouts contradiction. Therefore, you are really giving it a pass. So, you know, you're giving it a pass. So you might as well just say, listen, I'm gonna go out there and just done them. Kill them all and done, right? And then people at least would say, well, at least she's being honest. She's definitely sending out her Doberman them for come do what they want to do. Now, it's such a shame because people have got this conspiracy theory so embedded in their head. Now it's a matter of you're sending people with money to pay people to go after people you don't like and all this kind of stuff. I can have my personal opinion on that, in that I genuinely don't believe that that's happening. But you're never going to convince these people otherwise. They're always going to believe that, right? Because these people who are going out and doing these things are defending you in the same breath. So It is about recognizing that your influence is such that your words can't be held lightly. Your words matter. And when we realize how powerful our platforms can be, we will know how to handle the things that we say and the things that we do. Right? So let me take a look what I've noticed about our people, or should I say most people, they get upset about facts. They do. Marlon Ferren, the social media space is like most political fanatic folks. Hold on 1 second, guys. 1 second. Sorry about that, guys. Let's see what Marlon was saying. The social media space is like most political fanatic folks. After selecting your political party, you tune out facts and ride for your party. A crazy way to function. One stop being objective. Yes, yeah, it is like that. It is definitely like that. But then what I don't want my fellow bloggers to think is that when 33 times 3 big up particular person, you guys need to get out of this mindset that that person is elite then and me and nobody, or oh, it's about the people them who pant up and the people them where they are bottom. I am not saying that. So why are you believing that? Because this person who you hold in high esteem, even if you accost them, you still hold them in high esteem, And because this person you hold in high esteem has recognized something from a platform that she respects or appreciates, it means that because she has not respected or appreciated in the same breath, in the same way, in this way, it means that this person is better than that person. No, it's appropriate to a moment in time, a situation, a small snippet of information. And should you do something along the lines, I'm sure you would get the same. But if it is that it doesn't matter if it's coming from here, there, or anywhere, because nobody is better than you, then why put that message out there that there is this whole thing? The whole thing is being created by ourselves. And there is no need for it. If you are truly secure in what you're doing, if you are truly secure in what you're about, it should not matter who get big up who or who say what. But it does. And you know why it matters? Because her voice is powerful. And because her voice is powerful, the influence is powerful. And you know that when she says a name is a strength, Shiagi. And if you believe that that person is not deserving of that strength, you do not want to hear that name. And that's the honest truth. Of telling the captain of the ship that she needs to focus, that she's been doing this for almost 5 years and growth is required, let them chat. Absolutely. Absolutely. Because they are never going to stop. For as long as you are up there, they are never going to stop. Never, never, never going to stop. And because as well, there are these fragmented relationships around you, be it that you chose to fix them or not, and because you have got a powerful influence on your audience, every time you revisit past hurts, every time you speak about the bad-minded, the naysayers, the one them are foreign when I go on with nothing, the one them when I have no woman, every time you use those words, you are definitely rekindling or kindling that fire. So people are always going to come out, always going to attack, always going to be influenced by those words. And now we have to add stagnancy is never my portion to the list. People are always going to react. It will forever keep you trending. That is a fact. You will forever be getting more views. It's always a fact because we know negativity sells. You will forever be getting people running to protect and to rally around you and to lift you up and raise you up. But don't ever expect that your name will be gone from the mouths of these people who feel as though those shades are directed at them. I think it's about a genuine understanding of what it means to be a social media influencer. And when you recognize that, you know exactly what you're doing. So to answer the question, are these people all wrong in what they say? They're not all wrong. But how they've said it, in many instances, has been very wrong. And that's why you will never get the understanding that you expect. Anyway, guys, when I come for stay for no long time, you don't know head teacher K, just say what she has to say. Please big up everybody, like up the live before you exit the classroom. Thank you very much for coming to HTK Speaks. Right? Let me go to the rest of the comments. But she could say it because them attack her, whether she said it or not, she's only human too. As far as I see, most of these people are acting like spoiled kids. Poor lady. It seems like everyone wants to be a special person to her. That is so true. All right, HTK, lift up now. Lift up now after what, Shayla? What do you mean by that? What do you mean by that, ma'am? Or sir? Lift up now off of what? The shading invokes unresolved hurt, so healing will never happen. And that's correct. She's good because if that was me, maybe I won't be on social media. I'm telling you. Let go of the shade. Auntie is only human. She has come a mighty long way from 2019. Her temperament is facey, so it's definitely a struggle. Yeah. All if she tape up her mouth and sit down, them still, I gotta say she doing something. Yes, great class. Great class. Thank you very much. Yes, I wish she would stop using the words like that's why them hate me because, yeah. And maybe they will stop. Maybe one day. Who knows? She only human and a person can only take so much. No one is perfect. We all have feelings. And that's a fact. That is a fact. 33 times 3 can't catch a break, whether she does good or bad. Facts. What I can't understand is what people keep body shaming each other. Oh, as for that, I don't even look at that because most of them they are busy talking about who big, who this. They got mothers who are looking the same way. So I'm not even paying attention. With the high cheekbones. At the same time, you have the same high cheekbone plastered with makeup. Nah, lie. Sometimes my love voice should shade them. Oh, it's funny. It's entertaining. This live is going to spin me, I tell you. Watch and believe. It certainly is. It is certainly going to spin. Right? Why did you delete that comment? I don't have any kind of I don't have anything that says high cheekbone plastered with makeup because I don't have high cheekbones at all. You didn't need to delete that one. I think the one you needed to delete was the lift up comment because what was that? This live is going to spin. What shade when people calling her name left, right, and center? Yeah, so it go day every day, every night. And it not gonna stop. If bloggers wasn't defending her, we would never know the wickedness of some. That's not true because we definitely know the wickedness of them just by hearing them. And there is nothing wrong with them going out there to defend it. I am saying that when she comes out and complains that people are using her name, it is never going to stop. It will not stop. And this is the reason for it. Okay? That's what I'm saying. I strongly believe that a huge part is some folks just dislike the face of the person, not totally polished and university educated, who has all this power and influence. You know, classism is definitely a part of it, Marlon Ferron. That is a fact. That is a fact, right? And she's in a different league. Who is in a different league, Angie? Auntie D cuss out them BC. And that she for do yes. Nobody the shade just come out and just don't kill, just done them. No, she has to move on from that because she's now a brand, you know, corporate world is trying to take her on board more and more every day. Contracts are coming in. She's elevating, going to a different level, and so on and so forth. You know, it is just what it is. You understand? So all I can say is that this lady will forever be the topic of discussion for as long as she's on social media because of the great things that she's done. And she will always be of heavy influence, strong and powerful influence. But being aware of that influence and how it can be used for good or bad is 3/4 of the battle. That's all I'm saying. Anyway, my God, una keep me paya, right? Me una keep me paya for so long. You understand? And I'm gonna go now. Talk to you guys later. Big up on the staff, like up the live, like up the live. Bye bye. Bye bye.